by leveraging skill, and we know how to do that in factories. The factories that did it, that were successful, the factories that I studied in my initial research projects, the factories that I went all over the world to look at in the United States and Europe and Japan, the ones that were successful were the ones that aren't. That's what my theory is built off. It's not a theory of musicians and bohemians. It's a theory built off the experience of the best factories in the world. They tap the knowledge, the creativity, and the intelligence of their workers. Why my dad told me Victory Optical was successful when I was a little boy. It's because of the knowledge and the intelligence and the creativity of the people who work here. Creativity is a resource that we all share. We're wasting it. So we have to dig down deep. And I'm just going to give you one example. Sorry to go on so long, and then we'll throw open the questions. We've been working very hard, my wife Rana, who's here, and colleagues, we've been working very hard with a fellow named Tony Hsieh in Las Vegas. I mean, Tony Hsieh is the founder of Zappos. He's a 35, 36-year-old guy. And one of the things Tony figured out, he moved the company from San Francisco to Las Vegas, lower cost. And he figured out very early that he could be successful by taking service workers who were disgruntled in Las Vegas, working in a casino, being not treated very well, or a hotel. He could take those young kids at the time, they're now getting older, and he could give them a purpose. He could bring them to Zappos, and he could give them a job, maybe starting in a call center. Maybe routine, it could be very simple work, but he could start to give them a job with purpose, and he could pay them a little better. He started them off at $35,000. Not a lot of money, but better than maybe 35 grand a year. And then he learned that it was creating a culture of welcoming them, their ideas, their capabilities. He wrote a book, he called it Delivering Happiness. That what he wasn't delivering was shoes, but he was delivering happiness, promoting them from within. And we went for the tour and we met the workers and they've worked their way up. You know, and it's just crazy if you watch the 60 Minutes and he treats them well and now they can make a living wage. Then he realized something. He realized that he was out there in Henderson, Nevada. And he was out there and all of them had to have suburban homes. They could buy it, they could rent it. Now, it's cheaper than New York. But they had to have a car, they had a wife, they had 2 cars, and they had the kids, they had to shuttle them around. It was a huge burden. So Tony got the idea. He read the same book, John. He called me one day. He said, Rich, I'd like you to come out, Rana, bring a group of people. I want you to see what we're doing. Well, Tony said, I got to get away from the suburban model because there's another way to add happiness to my people. I'm going to move back to downtown Las Vegas. He bought the old City Hall. And he turned it into his new... It's not fancy, by the way. It's very bootstrapped. It's very basic. It looks like it could be in Queens or Brooklyn or parts of Jersey. It's not a fancy Class A office space. It's very basic, you know, retrofitting an old City Hall, a 1950-60 City Hall. He said, why we're going to do that is because I can then grab some of these condos around here and I can turn them into shared living space. Kind of what New York is thinking about with the micro apartment. I can turn them into a shared communal apartment with shared kitchens, and the people can live there much more affordably. And then what I'm going to do is instead of having my internal kitchen and my internal shops, I can build a little city. And he said, if you want to be successful now, you don't build an industry or firm, you build a city. So I can fill out that neighborhood. He set up a $350 million real estate fund, which is smart, not just to build his company, but to find local entrepreneurs and local shop owners and bookstore owners and coffee shop owners and to put money into them to help make them successful, to build a city. And then he said, if I build a city, I can leverage the other part. You see, Zappos not only has service workers, there's a lot of people who work on our technology. There's a lot of people who work on our new algorithms and work on our new ways of shipping and logistics. And I can use them to create new startup companies. He's now attracting companies to downtown Las Vegas. You see, that's the challenge we face. We have a lot of assets. It's a global city. It's doing better in the spiky world. It's leveraging the creative talent, the globalization, the diversity. The thing that's going to face us moving forward, particularly as the city rebuilds, we'll talk about that another time, from the hurricane and all of the things we have to do environmentally and with resilience. But the biggest challenge facing is how to tap and harness that creativity that lies within every single individual. And my hunch is, that formation of not only this new creative, knowledge-driven agenda, the formation of this new kind of urban social compact. My hunch is it's not going to come out of Washington. I don't know why I feel that way. Maybe you feel differently. My hunch, having lived in Washington, is Washington is now not a place that innovates. That this new way of forging an urban social compact, which is about harnessing the skill and creativity of everyone, starts in cities. And my hunch is the first place it has to start is here. Anyway, thanks for your patience and listening. We have plenty of time for questions.